This is a stimulus update and daily news report, and things are getting down to the wire. Janet Yellen just issued another warning saying we are about to enter a recession if we do not raise the debt ceiling. I'll play you a short clip of what she said. Chuck Schumer has set up another vote for today, Wednesday, to try to raise the debt ceiling. I'll give you the latest of what's going on with that situation. When it comes to the big stimulus package, Joe Manchin says that he is willing to go all the way up to $2 trillion, matching President Biden's number, saying that he would do that. Nancy Pelosi accepts defeat to the progressives. I'm going to play a video clip from the Progressive Caucus leader, Pramila Jayapal, as well as Bernie Sanders. We'll talk stimulus checks. What's the latest with that? We'll also go over this article right here regarding Social Security increase. There's a big Social Security announcement coming that you won't want to miss, and I'll give you some other more important updates along the way. Hope you're having a wonderful Wednesday. If you appreciate the fact-based, fast-paced updates, hit the like button down below. So let's start off with stimulus checks. With the California stimulus check, state to begin distributing $480 million in pandemic recovery funds this week. So if you live in California, make between $30,000 and $75,000 and have not received your stimulus check yet, it is going out this week, or at least more are going out this week. When it comes to regular general Ford stimulus checks in general, for the $2,000 per month to every American petition, currently at $2,916,000. It has been going up a lot more lately, but just want to keep it real with you. There is no fourth stimulus check in that big package or a fourth stimulus check in general. Just want to give you the truth there. If you hear other YouTubers or anyone else talking about a fourth stimulus check, there is no proof. I check on it every single day trying to give you the latest on that, but there is no fourth stimulus check in that package. When it comes to the debt ceiling, Chuck Schumer sets up a Wednesday vote to suspend the debt ceiling. That is today. So this is another attempt to try to raise the debt ceiling. Has not been successful just because of Mitch McConnell and the Republicans in Senate are not only voting against it, but they're trying to block it and trying to have Democrats do it through reconciliation. So we're going to see what happens with that. It passed in the House. It just needs to pass in the Senate. When it comes to the warnings from Janet Yellen, U.S. faces a recession if Congress doesn't address the debt limit within 2 weeks, Janet Yellen, Treasury Secretary, said. So what happened here is also President Joe Biden on Monday called on Congress to raise the debt limit this week and avoid even approaching near certain economic turmoil. Here is a short video clip from Janet Yellen talking about the consequences that'll happen if the debt ceiling is not raised.
It's utterly essential that this be done. I've said that by the 18th of October, we will be out of extraordinary measures, have limited cash, and likely to exhaust it very quickly. And so I do regard October 18th as a deadline. It would be catastrophic to not pay the government's bills, for us to be in a position where we lack the resources to pay the government's bills. It really undermines confidence in the full faith and credit of the United States, our willingness to stand behind our debts and make sure that we pay them. And when you think about the impact it could have on 50 million seniors that are expecting Social Security checks, on our troops, on 30 million households waiting to receive their child tax credit payments, and these would be delayed, and the delays would grow longer.
What are your thoughts on what Janet Yellen said? Is it really that serious? Let me know your thoughts on that down in the comments below. Some other consequences I was reading about saying that mortgage rates could go up. If mortgage rates go up, that means rent goes up for tenants as well. Credit card interest rates could go up as well. So seems like a really serious issue, and we don't have much time to solve it. So Biden says changing filibuster rules to raise debt ceiling is a real possibility, basically saying desperate measures call for desperate times. I think that's how it goes. But yeah, basically saying President has expressed fury at Republicans for blocking repeated efforts to raise borrowing limit, but changing filibuster rules would require support from all Senate Democrats. Basically, the way that this would work is that if they change the filibuster, meaning that they would just need a 51 vote majority, 50 Democrats are there, and then Vice President Harris would be the tiebreaker of 51 votes. Then they would change the filibuster rule. They wouldn't need the 60 votes and have the 10 Republicans. Then they could just pass it on their own like that. So that seems like a big possibility. And some even worse news here. Chuck Schumer warns October recess is in jeopardy over debt limit fight. Can you believe it? Their recess is in jeopardy. Obviously, I'm being sarcastic here. So what is the schedule like for the Senate? So if we look right here, this is the schedule right here. If we look at October down here, so red is the Senate, blue is the House, purple is when they're both in session. So after the 8th, they are actually on vacation out of office for the entire week between the 9th and the 17th, which means that with the Monday deadline, they're either going to have to stay the week and try to figure something out, or they're going to have to get it passed by the 8th, which is this Friday coming up. So it doesn't really give them much time to get that done, as well as all the other promises that they're trying to get done as well. And then, of course, over the next few weeks, they have at least 1 to 2 weeks of vacation until the rest of the year. Let me know your thoughts on this down in the comments below. Should they stay in Congress and get the debt ceiling raised before they go on the recess? Should they be cut their pay? I think that's a pretty popular thing too. That I don't know if it would happen because they're in charge of their pay, but do you think they should get paid if the debt ceiling is not raised? Let me know your thoughts on that. When it comes to the big spending bill, the $3.5 trillion stimulus package, Build Back Better, the Part 2, so many different names now. So Manchin open to spending bill above $1.5 trillion, saying, I'm not ruling anything out. So originally he said he's not going above $1.5 trillion compared to that $3.5 trillion number. So how much higher is he willing to go? So Manchin it opens the door to deal in range of 1.9 to 2.2 trillion, which is what President Biden said. So what Manchin just said recently is, I'm not ruling anything out, but the bottom line is I want to make sure that we are strategic and we do the right job and we don't basically add more to the concerns that we have right now. So we'll see what happens when it comes to this big deal right here. As mentioned, Nancy Pelosi has set a deadline for October 31st, but Chuck Schumer says he wants to get it done this week. If he wants to get it done this week, he'll have to get it done before the 8th because they're going out of town after the 8th, which is probably why he wants to have it done in days, not weeks. But I don't know. Nothing really moves too fast in Congress anyway. So Pelosi handed major defeat by rising progressive Democrat stars as Biden agenda put on ice. So Nancy Pelosi has been defeated by the House progressives. So it is a Democrat versus Democrat fight, the progressives versus the moderates. So basically the more liberals, more leaning left versus the more centrist like Joe Manchin. So Nancy Pelosi kind of caught in the middle, tried to do some votes, but was stopped by Pramila Jayapal, who is the Progressive Caucus leader, who's very powerful in this moment, especially with trying to pass things. Here's the latest video clip of what she has to say about it.
Joining us now is Washington Congresswoman Pramila Jayapal, chair of the Congressional Progressive Caucus. Congresswoman, thank you for being with us. I don't know. That was the best effort we could get to at conveying what has been going on at Congress. But you're actually in those meetings. You're in the room where it happened. So how much of what I just told the audience is accurate?
Allie, it's good to see you. Thanks for having me on. Look, there's some things that are accurate in that we are trying to get to a set of priorities that will be transformational, that will change people's lives, that will take on climate change, that will, provide paid leave, 12 weeks of paid leave to people, that will provide childcare, pre-K, community college, healthcare, Medicare expansion, immigration, take on the immigration issues. These are our priorities in the Congressional Progressive Caucus that are in the president's Build Back agenda. This is actually the president's agenda, just to be clear. But what is true is that we do have to get 50 senators on board. We have 96% of Democrats in the House and the Senate on board, but we don't have 4%. And our margins are so thin that we have to get every single person on board. So we are in the negotiation process. We thought that 3.5 was actually the compromise negotiation position. And it came from these priorities. It was not a number that was picked out of the air. But at the end of the day, what we're thinking about is if we have to trim a little, and I'm saying a little, then what we would like to do is have our priorities represented, and those are childcare, or really the care economy. It is Medicare expansion, it is immigration, it is housing, and climate change. Those 5 priorities that we need to include but perhaps for shorter number of years, because I don't think we can choose and pit between childcare and climate change. I don't think we can choose between pre-K and housing. These are all essential priorities, and that's the process we're in right now. So let's see where this goes. I will say that we are pushing to make sure that we think about it from the perspective of priorities. But at the end of the day, when you talk about the number, let's be clear that this is all paid for by taxes on the wealthiest corporations and wealthiest individuals. So it does not add to the deficit, but it does make transformational investments in people's lives.
So that's really the way to look at this, right? I think any government spending has to be looked at as what's the return on the investment. So I prefer that we talk about these priorities than we talk about the numbers. We do have reporting that the president said that he could get the holdouts somewhere between 1.9 and 2.2 trillion. And we have reporting that you have said you might be able to manage 2.5 to 2.9 trillion. So notwithstanding the fact that neither of us want to talk about the numbers, is there accuracy in that reporting?
Well, all I can say is that we are thinking it's really different. Let's just say we settle on 2.9 trillion. It's going to be a different conversation if that 2.9 trillion includes our priorities versus doesn't. It's a different conversation if we are saying we're going to means test a whole bunch of this, which we are opposed to, and put income caps that prevent two school teachers, for example, in Seattle from being able to get childcare and qualify for that benefit. So we have to look at the details, and that's why we don't want to settle on the number, because it is really dependent on how we structure it and how we implement.
Right. So 2.5 to 2.9 trillion could be completely different things. We just put up a screen that talked about the priorities on that list of priorities and some estimates that we've got of what they could pay, what they could cost. You are underscoring the fact that, there's less to negotiate on climate, less on housing, less on childcare, less on Medicaid expansion. These are major priorities. So how you form whatever number you get to is important.
That's right. And we still think that, the 3.5 number was the number that we thought was negotiated. So as close as we can get to that number, recognizing we got to get all 50 senators on board.
In this particular situation, Pramila Jayapal has a ton of power, even more power than Nancy Pelosi, which I think is why Nancy Pelosi wanted to set the deadline for an entire month away. Originally, it was supposed to be the 27th, then I think the 29th, then October 1st, and now she's just like, all right, let's just set it another 30 days away for the deadline to try to figure out maybe how she could defeat the progressives and Pramila Jayapal. Let me know your thoughts on that. Next up is a video clip from Bernie Sanders, also talking more about the current situation.
The American people are very clear. They want to substantially lower the cost of prescription drugs. They want to expand home health care so that people are not forced out of their homes into nursing homes. They want to expand Medicare so that elderly people can have dental care, can have hearing aids, can have eyeglasses. They want us to address the existential threat of climate change. And I'll tell you what else they want. They are sick and tired of the rich getting richer and not paying their fair share of taxes. And they want this reconciliation bill to be paid for by doing away with the loopholes that the wealthy and large corporations enjoy. Majority Leader Chuck Schumer made it clear. We're going down this road in a dual way. Both bills have got to be linked together because there is a strong feeling on the part of many of us that if you just pass the infrastructure bill, which is a good bill, I voted for it, then we will not get to the bill that working families really want, that finally demands that the wealthiest people in this country start paying their fair share of taxes. We have the American people very, very strongly on our side. We've got the President of the United States on our side. We've got 96% of the members of the Democratic caucus in the House on our side. We got all but 2 senators at this point and the Democratic caucus on our side. We're going to win this thing. We're going to pass a strong infrastructure bill to rebuild our crumbling infrastructure, and we're going to pass a reconciliation bill.
Next, let's talk about the Social Security increase. So there's a big Social Security announcement coming that you won't want to miss. Mentioned this in yesterday's video. This is something I definitely want to cover since a lot of you are on Social Security and I think you could benefit from this information. So the COLA, cost of living adjustment, is going to be announced any day now. It's probably going to be around 6 to 6.1%. Last year it was 1.3%. raise in the beginning of 2021, and in 2020 it went up to 1.6%. Or actually, sorry, I did that the other way around. But yeah, so the cost of living adjustment is going to be announced very soon. In terms of the other Social Security increases, there have been many proposals. Just want to give you a quick update on what's going on with that. So a lot of proposals to raise it $279 more per month for SSI, $200 per month for all Social Security recipients. A lot of those proposals did not make it into this big package. Politicians have pushed for it. There just wasn't enough momentum. So I wanted to give you an update on that. The only increase as of now is going to be the cost of living adjustment, which should be announced any day from now. Anyways, that is all the stimulus news I have for you today to hopefully brighten your day a bit. Here's my daughter Bella's tip of the day.
Hi guys, it's Bella tip of the day. I want to tell you the one thing that you should do. Do the things that scare you the most, because after you do that, you become a better person. Bye.
Thank you so much for watching. So yesterday, my daughter Bella got really into painting. Here's a video clip of Bella and Kalea painting. They just love, being creative and artistic. As I mentioned before, I know it sounds kind of weird. We actually don't have any TVs in the house, but it's so that they could do more creative activities like painting and, playing with their dolls and use their imagination, be more creative, compared to TV. Keep in mind, I love TV. We all love it. Whenever we go to a friend's house or family's house or to a hotel, we love watching it. But at the same time, I think it's really good to be creative in the house. Let me know your thoughts on that. Anyways, that is all the stimulus news. Or actually, no. If you want to click up here, you can watch my other videos, or down here, or one of those links. Anyway, I really spaced out there. Take care. Be safe. Thank you for watching.